Let's go, guys. My name is Adija Adebo Ali, and it's the best sporting show in the whole of the universe. It's News Instant Sports, airing, of course, on a band, Radio Scope, and of course, on the Queen's Talk TV. It's amazing that we are here again. I'm here with the ever bubbly G, and we're going to be talking about a whole lot of in sporting world, but I'll let Kashi introduce himself first.
Sport fans, consecutive weeks of my appearance here. So a big thank you, a big shout out. Thank you for sticking with us all through these years. We never take it for granted. And to our new partners, Queen Talks TV, we're always happy to partner with you. Make sure you guys catch us anywhere you can. Just in case I happen not to be there when it eventually happens, I want to start by saying congratulations in advance to Real Madrid and to Inter Milan, as they are probably the only two teams to have clinched the league. I could have added PSG there, but it's the Farmers League. So I'm not going to say anything. So big shout out to those two guys. 10 points in the La Liga and 15, about to be 18 points.
What about Leverkusen?
10 points. Leverkusen, it's almost wrapped. It's almost a wrap up, but I kind of want them to still have somebody pushing them just in case Milan meets them in the semi-finals of the Europa League. So I'm not congratulating them ahead of time, but always great to be here, and stay tuned for a good one.
All right, perfect. Of course, you will be joining. Thank you very much to say congratulations on the award. We won an award for in Canada here, which is a pleasant one. So thank you very much for everybody that voted for News Instant and Ramadan Kareem to all Muslims fasting across the globe as well. We'll be skipping over to the NBA world right now, and it's a little bit of. It's not a too good one if you're from Philly. Philly might not be the best, might really realistically, and I know there's a difference of opinion between Kachi and I on this one. Kachi believes there's a number 2 in Philly. I think there's no number 2, there's just one. And when the one is around, they probably have a 2. But when the one is not around, they don't have anything, as far as I'm concerned. Kachi, 76ers, before Joel went on that nasty injury that he has been on since for a couple of weeks now. I think since February 4th.
Yeah, it's been about 6 weeks now.
6 weeks now, yeah. And they were flying, and Joel was in the talk, in the mix for the MVP, as a matter of fact. But ever since Joel went off, the 76ers have not been able to get results. It has not been going that way at all. At a particular point in time, I think they were the second seed in the East, or the third, just behind the Boston Celtics that refused to lose often, and the Milwaukee Bucks before they sacked their own coach as well. Akachi, I just wanted you to tell the viewers why you think Tyrese is good enough to be called a 1B or even a 2, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Probably more of a 2 than he is a 1B. I don't think I would stay here and stake my reputation and my objectivity as an analyst and call Tyrese Maxey a 1B. Is he a budding superstar? Yes. Is he a star? Yes, he's a star, but not yet a superstar. The absence of Joel has shown me, what it proves is that he is clearly a 2 who cannot yet elevate his game to be a 1 and be the face of a franchise. When Joel was there, Joel always commanded that double, triple team that freed up space, because you mentioned it during our production call. He had a couple of personal best games, 50-point shooting. I think they both went on a back-to-back 50 points. He went on a 35, 42 and 50-point run, and I'm talking of Tyrese now, and that's really because all eyes were on Joel, and he commanded that double team. But we also know Joel can always get his points even when he's double teamed. Right now, in Joel's absence, Tyrese becomes the fulcrum of that 76ers team, with Kelly Oubre being probably the next best option in that
Option.
team.
Yeah.
So when Tyrese is double teamed, he slumps back to the bottom part of his league average, which is to shoot between 18 and 22 points per game. And it tells me that they were living close to 25 points per game on the board simply because Joel is not there.
He's not there.
Unlike a Kyrie that will thrive in the absence of Luka Doncic, unlike a Devin Booker and Bradley Beal that will thrive in the absence of KD. Or otherwise, Tyrese Maxey right now does not seem to have it. I have to give the young man credit.
Of course.
Another team losing their number one, clearly their best player, arguably the league MVP, would have led to them spiraling. Now they are spiraling, but maybe not as bad as you would have feared. They're still in the play-in. They can fancy their chances because they are currently the seventh seed. If the season ends this way, they host a game against the Atlanta Hawks, who this season have shown not to be that team. Yes, we know they still have a deadly shooter in Trae Young. We get it, but they don't travel well. So that means at the very least, and that for me would be a remarkable success, if a 2 can take his team into the playoff. I'm not saying just the play-in now. Manage to get them into the playoff.
Oh, wow.
That means enough time for Joel to come back. Because let's not forget, it's not about Joel coming back now. The kind of injury Joel has is not the injury that has allowed him maintain his conditioning. So Joel returning now he needs about 10 games to get the right conditioning to play playoff football. He's not even conditioned to play regular season football, regular season basketball right now. Not to talk of the physical nature of playoff basketball. So if he can allow Joel start his conditioning without playing, or maybe play the last 6-7 games of the regular season, and they get into the playoffs just in time for Joel to hit his element, then I think I will call it a successful season on the aspect of Tyrese Maxey. Make no doubt, he's clearly not a number one.
All right, perfect. I remember Kachi sitting on that a couple of months ago, let's say about a year ago, and he was saying James Harden was not even the 1B in
Philadelphia. Then.
Yeah, I hope you've changed your opinion on that.
No, it was probably a 1C. It was probably a 1C, not a 1B. Because let's put it that way.
Let's go into that. Don't worry. Let's go into that. I know you want to prove your point about it, but I'm just trying to remind you what you said a couple of months or years ago about that. And going to the West. The West, you look at the West and you're like, okay, the Dallas Mavericks, the Suns, the Lakers, and the Golden State Warriors should be challenging on in the playoffs. But right now, they are battling their life for in the play-ins. The Wolves, the OKC have shown us like, okay, we're that good enough. At least we can hold our forte. And of course, Clippers, I think, okay, might fizzle out. As a matter of fact, what you and Tsuji prophesied for the Clippers was they would not even make the playoffs, but they are holding theirs as well. I think they're the fourth seed in the West. But looking at it holistically, how much of disappointment has it been for the Mavs, the Suns, the Lakers, and the Golden State Warriors? I'll say for the Mavs, Kyrie was out for a while. That's actually affected the Mavs. For the Suns, KD, Bradley B, and Booker have just been able to play together, I think 20 times since the start of the season. So that might be another excuse as well. The Lakers on the other side have been fit for better part of the season. LeBron has been fit for a good number of games. I'm not sure LeBron has missed more than 10 games this season. Same with AD. The Golden State Warriors, they've had the off the field rank or more. No thanks to Draymond Green and amongst other things. But how much of disappointment are these four teams looking at it and the rosters and what they command or what they should ordinarily command in the basketball world?
I'm heavily disappointed, to be honest with you, because the absence. The biggest one out of those four, would be the Lakers. The NBA needs the Lakers to be successful for the NBA to continue to remain relevant. I can assure you that a Lakers team not making the playoff would reduce viewership by close to 5 million, because you need that California, Los Angeles market to boost your viewership. Disappointed in all four, probably more disappointed in the Lakers, but for me, disappointed in AD, because one thing I would say, and every time we say this, it always brings us back to the GOAT debate, is the MJ supporters always seem to shift the goalpost, saying, but the Lakers are struggling. What it tells me is, at 39 years old, people are still expecting LeBron James to be the best player in his franchise. At 39 years old, MJ was just selling tickets. Everybody went, oh no, MJ is okay, but the Wizards were terrible. Nobody was expecting the Wizards to compete. That is, I just wanted to put that out there for you GOAT debaters to have what to talk about during the week. So I'm a lot more disappointed in AD not stepping up and taking the gauntlet and just being, he has always the high highs and very low lows. AD. So inconsistency, and obviously another factor is that Devin Ham is he has not been able to harness all the right skill set, that Lakers team possesses. For the Warriors, Draymond Green derailed that team. That's one. Number two, the hesitancy in Steve's to drop Klay Thompson to the bench early enough is what has also hurt them. He remained stubborn and obdurate. He consistently started Klay, even though Klay is well past his prime and cannot give you that consistent league average anymore. So those were two factors that affected them. Also, they lost their longtime coach, the Serb guy. I can't remember his name now. So a lot of personal issues affected them. The Suns, however, the Suns, I think we said it last year, that when you only have 3 or 4 people and you don't have a bench, but you are bound to struggle.
They need a point guard in the Suns.
They got their PG. They got their PG? Guy. Right now, Booker plays as a shooting guard for them. Bradley Beal plays as a shooting guard for them. So they are people who can distribute the ball. Health has always been. I
think they need someone. They need a correct and
PG like
not. Exactly. Not an adult PG.
How many cerebral PGs are in the market right now?
Realistically, not like an adult PG. And it's the same with the Lakers as well. You look at it; they have an adult PG when Austin Reeves is not on the court. So sometimes you see LeBron playing the PG role, not the SG role.
D'Lo can do that as well. Like I said, for the Lakers, it's really about Devin Ham. I think Devin Ham has to sit down, because just a couple of days ago, Dennis Schroeder came out to say he did not thrive under that Lakers system because of the relationship D'Lo had with Devin Ham. I do not think they should have let Schroeder go, because Schroeder and Reeves complemented each other very well. Really good distributors of the ball, and they can average about 40% from the field goal. So let's leave the Lakers, because if we want to sit here and dissect the Lakers,
okay, let's go to the Mavs.
For the Mavs, it's really almost their situation is similar to the Suns. They have 3 really big stars and no depth in the squad. And it's 82 games. You can't be healthy for all. So when your marquee names are away, well, we just talked about how Tyrese Maxey is struggling now. It's been the same thing for the Suns. It's been the same thing for the Mavs. I think it's a big loss to the NBA that 2 out of the 4 biggest names, 4 biggest teams we want to see at the business end of the league of the season will not even make the playoffs. Because there's no way. Right now, the Suns are 8.5 games back from OKC. The Dallas Mavericks are 9 games back. The Warriors are about 12 games. The Warriors and the Lakers are 12 games back. If we compare that to the Suns can still make the the 6th seed because they have roughly the same points or the same number of wins as the Sacramento Kings, who are currently the 6th seed right now. But how much it's probably easier for the Suns to scale in than for all 4 of them to scale in. There are roughly about 16 games left. If we go by their league average, the Lakers will probably only win 8 out of those 16 games because they've relatively been a 500 team. They win as much as they are losing. So if you win 8 games out of your remaining 16, it only leaves you stuck in 8th or 9th place.
In that same position.
So it's a big disappointment for me, but a bigger disappointment for the viewers of the NBA, as 2 teams we all wanted to see would likely miss the playoffs.
All right, perfect. And of course, we're talking about disappointment, and what can be more disappointing than the current losers in the NBA right now. And I'm talking about the Detroit Pistons and the Washington Wizards. What's the name of that kid again? That group. No, the kid in Wizard from GSW.
Kuzma.
No, from GSW.
Jordan Poole.
I thought, okay, Jordan is going there. Jordan might be able to do something with the Wizards. I'm not saying they will qualify they will make the play-in or the playoffs, but definitely a team that has, even Kyle Kuzma did relatively well last season all by himself. Right,
he had Bradley Beal.
Yeah, that's true. He had Bradley Beal last season. Like he did pretty well, and we're expecting Jordan Poole is
elevates them.
Yeah, he's a championship player, right? He has chips, and he was not a role player. He wasn't a role player in those chips. At least for one of them, he wasn't a role player. Even the 2, And you expect something to happen for this guy, but he has changed it from one big disappointment to a bigger disappointment to the biggest disappointment. Being the worst team in the East, it's unacceptable. Right? For you to now show up, like I'm the face of this franchise, and your team is the worst in the East. The East is not even that really competitive to begin with. I'm telling you, if the Hawks are where they are, the Detroit Pistons did not win a game. I think they went on a 25 loss.
They went on a 25 game losing streak.
And there you are still the worst in the league. It's crazy. And that's realistically, and that for the Wizards. The Detroit Pistons, I don't know exactly what is wrong with those guys. Maybe it's a crisis, a coaching crisis, a confidence crisis. I don't understand. For the Spurs is relatively very straightforward. They are not good enough. That's just the point.
Right,
they are not good enough, and they are not allowing their best player, probably because they're rookie, take the wheels in that team, and they will continue to be like that until Wemby takes over that team. Becomes that guy in the team. Wemby can play all the positions, but all the surrounding players around Wemby are below average. And I'm sorry to say that. I'm not even a basketballer. I don't want to sound like Stephen A right now. But but realistically, they are as bad as it can get, And I'll put so much blame on the coach as well, because he has to do right by the sorry, I said why with the talent of Wemby, but he's not doing that realistically, and that's why I will put some BS at his footstep as well. Looking at it, who out of these 3 teams is more disappointing? For me personally, is the Wizards, no doubt about it. But I want to hear your own opinion. I'm not expecting so much from the Pistons. The Spurs, at least Wemby is showing who he is. He's the second rookie. the history of the NBA with 100. I don't know how many blocks he has had this season, and as more 3 pointers in the with the season. So he has actually been able to distinct himself. Like, okay, I'm good enough. I'm this good. And you can see the surrounding players are not really good. So you can actually wash his hands off whatever it is that is happening in sports. But the Wizards and the Pistons, I don't understand. Catch it.
The truth is, it's clearly the Wizards, because to put it in perspective, as at the time the Pistons had won their second game this season, the Wizards had won about 6 or 7 games, right? And that famous tweet went out by Kyle Kuzma that at this point the target is don't be the Pistons, you know. And then for them to now get to this point where the Pistons not only started winning, at least more than, at least they are winning more than the Wizards right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the issue is about culture. We said that there is no culture of excellence, and I think that's what has affected Jordan Poole. Poole left a team where the demand for excellence was so great that he was caving under the pressure for it, to a team where the demand for excellence was not as great that he has become very laissez-faire about it. Hey, people are going to buy tickets. It doesn't matter. For somebody who has won championship, they trade for players with championship pedigree so that they can come and instill that kind of culture in a team that does not have it. For the Pistons, we get it. Cade Cunningham had been injured for a long time.
For a long time, yeah.
He's just getting himself, and we only have Cade literally in that team. It's the Detroit Pistons scenario is akin to the San Antonio Spurs scenario. Do we have an otherworldly talent and a supporting cast that is not pulling their weight,
good enough,
or please have not elevated their game? So you give those kind of teams the chance to let them play 2-3 years, because they don't have that culture. They will develop their culture together. But the Wizards have 2 players that have won chips.
Yeah.
In Poole and in Kuzma. We always knew Kuzma was not a tough kid. We've always known that. He was a fine boy. He was just someone who he needed another person to take the pressure off him, which LeBron and AD did in the bubble. Yeah. Kuzma could do his own thing, even to a lesser extent. Howard also took the pressure off him, you know. But right now, those 2 guys have clearly shown that they cannot be leaders of men. They are clearly followers. They cannot instill culture, because people will be like, pardon me, for those who are not Nigerian who are watching us, who is this one? What did they do for you? Which kind of example? You know, every time we talk about Lakers, we talk about LeBron setting the example, KD setting the example, Steph setting the example. Who is setting the example in Washington?
In Washington.
So mediocrity is the order of the day there, and it is not a surprise that is what we are seeing. I will have to give them credit, however, that they are showing up as mediocre as they have been. They are showing up to the games. They are playing. They are getting their points, because there's a certain Australian who has scammed the NBA of almost $100 million right now, who is not showing up right now. And
what are you going to get off these guys?
They probably should all be in the same team. So who is the bigger disappointment? Is definitely the Wizards. But am I surprised? No. When the culture is that of mediocrity, you only get mediocre
results. That's what you get. All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Kachi, I know this is another one that we are not going to agree on. Definitely. I know we'll never agree on. Who should be the new face of the NBA? Definitely Steph, KD, LeBron. I don't want to count AD. AD is not that old. So I'll say Clay. Who else can you tell me right now? Those guys are the early set pacers, right? And they are in the twilight of their career. They should not be the face of the NBA anymore. And like we both agree, and which I don't like. I'm a Brown fan, true and true. But Braun should not be, as Braun should not be the best player in the Lakers, he should not be the face of the NBA. We need a new face.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, personally, I'll bring it down to just three guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me make it four. I'll bring it down to four guys or
Okay.
5 guys. As a matter of fact,
Okay.
5 guys, because we never thought about it. What about JT? Tatum should be in the conversation to be the face of the NBA. It's that good.
Okay.
You know, Joel Embiid should be in the conversation to be the face of the NBA as well. He's got the swag, he's got the loud mouths, he has the clouds, and he plays probably in his relatively smaller market, but he is the voice and he has been a past MVP. Definitely.
Who are your other 3 names?
My other guys would be AE, Anthony Edwards, most definitely. Devin Booker, most definitely. And of course, Luka Doncic. For me personally, Luka is probably the other European. And as a matter of fact, Joel is even an American. Come to think of it, yeah. So that's why
you did not include a Giannis and a Nikola.
No, I'm not going to. Giannis looks like that local Yoruba boy, you know.
He's just content to get his salary.
Exactly. And of course, Nikola can never be the face of anything. Nikola can always be the face of Nikola. Nobody's going to agree to that, honestly. For me personally, you can't make that guy is not athletic. He is an embodiment of talent. The best player in the league by far is the best, but he does not have that swag. Basketball is not about swag. That's the truth. Apart from your talent, you have to be able to talk. That's why they give them all those chance to use the F word and whatnot, you know.
Yes.
So out of these 5, who do you think should ordinarily be the face, and who should Adam Silver be positioning to be the new face?
Thank you very much. I'm not sure we will agree.
Yeah, we will.
But out of everyone you've mentioned here, I can clearly tell you that the person who has never shied away from being the next face of the league is Anthony Edwards, the alleged son of
Michael Jordan.
I had to put that out there because they might need to conduct a DNA test for the whole world to be certain that there's nothing there. I definitely think it's Anthony Edwards. He has the skill set to match it. He has the braggadociousness to match it. He plays with explosiveness. His body type is the prototype you want right now. He backs up his word with his action.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned Jason Tatum, but what I will say is this, and I want you just a one-word answer. If Anthony Edwards has the same caliber of talent that Jason Tatum has had in the last 4 years, do you think he would have won a championship?
Yes.
I think so too. I think so. And that is why I can't. He's a good. One of the biggest issues LeBron has, even though he was the face of the league, was LeBron tried too hard to get people to like him. I think Tatum is trying too hard to get people to like him on and off the court. Anthony Edwards reminds me so much, and that is why every time they play, both of them always go at each other. It reminds me so much of this Miami guy, Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, okay.
Because he's confident, he talks the talk, he walks the walk. He has the great skill set. We've seen it. He needs to leave a bigger market. That might be the only issue he has right now. That if Anthony Edwards was in Boston or in LA right now, we will not be arguing over who should be the face of the league. The only reason why Tatum is in that conversation is because it's in the second biggest market, or probably the third biggest market in Boston, after the Los Angeles and
in the NBA,
New York, in the NBA. Yeah. So I definitely think that it should be Anthony Edwards. However, that is on the premise that you want an American to be the face of the league. But the truth is, right now, more Europeans, and that's why a lot of people argue that Europeans have spoiled the league, that the league is no more physical because we are getting centers that can dribble the ball well. They're not
Pass
pushing
the
you
ball
up
well.
and they can pass the ball well. So we are not seeing that physicality of big men anymore. You just talk about Victor Wembanyama now being able to probably play
all the
maybe 4 out
positions.
of 5 positions right now in the league. You don't see that from a typical American big man. You know? So, and I think that's why the league is not amenable to having a non-American be their face. So if we're going to stick to an American right now, it has to be Anthony Edwards. And what that means is that Minnesota has their work on their hands. Probably when this guy cleans up his act and we begin to see more traction, we can bring Ja Morant into the conversation. But anybody who is going to be the face of the league that is playing in a small market now will ultimately lead that.
Kachi, thank you for bringing that up. That's a wonderful point. Jack will obviously, and he could have been the face of the league easily. Easily. Ja has all the quality needed, a little bit of gangsterism, this a bunch of enormous talent, you know, the craziness that is needed. Everything works for Ja apart from his off the court character. Maybe Jack will be brought into the conversation at one point.
We'll probably have to, because right now, if it's between Ja, Anthony Edwards, and Tatum, I have to tell you that it will be Edwards, Ja, and Tatum for me in that order. The proviso there is, if they ultimately are going to be the face of the league, they will need to leave
to step up that
market.
They
need to leave that market. Because they cannot appeal. We're talking about Luka and Wemby during our production call. And I told you that in the state of Texas, I believe Wemby is a bigger draw than even Luka Doncic. Luka is more popular in Dallas, but Wemby is probably more popular in Texas as a whole. So any person who's going to be the face of the league cannot be the biggest fish in a small pond in Memphis or the biggest fish in a small pond in Minnesota. You have to move to a traditional basketball city. New York, Boston, Los Angeles. That's what
AI did it anyways.
Well,
AI did it.
You can actually call Detroit, Michigan a basketball city. That's why it's very, very concerning how the Pistons are thriving. Because Detroit they gave us the bad boy Pistons.
They did.
They gave us Isaiah Thomas. They gave us AI. So they gave us Dr. Julius Irving also in Detroit. So Detroit is not a small market. It's a basketball city. So anybody that's going to move there becomes one of the big four. Let's put it that way.
Okay. All right. Perfect. That's all for basketball. Francis Ngannou is saying he wants to fight Anthony Wilder next. If that's going to come into pass, we'll both see in the coming weeks, and we'll be following closely about that as well. And from there, we'll move to the UEFA Champions League draws. And I'm so happy. My team, Arsenal, is in the Champions League quarterfinals for the first time, I think, in 14 years, if I'm not mistaken, or 10 years. It's been a very long time. And unfortunately, Arsenal is going to be playing against Bayern Munich. I've been supporting Arsenal for quite a while now. Most times, Bayern has always been our nemesis rather than a team that we can go past, even when we had the best team. While I was supporting Arsenal, which is the invisible year, we still struggle against Bayern. So it's going to be Arsenal against Bayern. Bayern has not been in the best of form at the start of the season. But now they are picking up pace. They are winning games, scoring goals for fun. Unfortunately for Arsenal, Kane went off injured, but it's still a very long time to the first leg of the Champions League, which is going to happen in April. So Kane definitely should be back before then. Arsenal versus Bayern. Arsenal are scoring goals. Arsenal probably is one of the most improved teams in the whole of Europe over the course of the last 3 years. If you ask me personally, and that's not because I'm an Arsenal fan, but it's a simple truth. Arsenal has been terrific. I do not expect Arsenal to be where they are today. If you look at what happened towards the end of Arsene Wenger and the disastrous stint of Inan Emery, people might say it's not disastrous, but it is if you look at it holistically, and that is not just Emery. It goes beyond Emery. It goes to the back office. What Unai actually requested for, what he was, the kind of players he was giving, how there was a communication gap and whatnot. But I'm not going to go into all that. Arsenal versus Bayern powerhouse in Europe. Personally, for me, I'm an Arsenal fan, but I feel Bayern will win this, especially since Arsenal is playing at first at home. So the victory at the Emirates is the only way out for Arsenal in this one. Catchy.
Yeah, I also think it ends 3-2 on aggregate in favor of Bayern Munich. Let's just put it this way, that for Arsenal, this season it's all about slaying their demons, slaying their Premier League demons, which we've seen them manage to do. Like we mentioned last week, they are beating teams that are either they're equal or slightly better than them. They've recorded wins against Spurs, City, Liverpool, and I believe United, which usually wasn't the case before.
Yeah.
They are also beating teams that they are fairly considerably better than and beating them very well. They've exercised their round of 16 demons already this season in the Champions League. But there are 8 teams left. And the truth is, once you get to the quarterfinals, you are facing men and not even... You may have managed to see a boy in the round of 16.
Yeah, round of 16.
In the quarterfinals, you are facing men. And to be really honest with you, I believe that only Arsenal and PSG... Okay, 3 out of the 8 teams have not won the Champions League.
Yeah.
But all 8 teams have been to at least one Champions League final. So you are facing teams that have
clouds. Yeah.
So for them to finally say we are getting to where we want to get to, they have to play teams such as this. But one thing that is in the favor of Arsenal right now is that the Emirates Stadium is gradually becoming a fortress. It's gradually. I'm not saying it has gotten there yet, but I can't remember the last time Arsenal lost a competitive game at the Emirates. If you know the date, it would be nice to have it. But it's been such a long time. They haven't experienced the taste of defeat at that stadium. So they play there well at first. They play well there. They are going to probably meet a team, a Bayern team they're probably just finally getting into form, and you never know. They have to study the tapes of teams that have handled Bayern Munich very well, because quite a number of German clubs handled them well.
Even Lazio handled them well.
Yeah, you can't let them into the game. You have to deprive them of the spaces to operate. Musiala and all those guys, you have to deprive them. Goretzka, all of them. Now, this is also a team that is made up of probably the nucleus of the German national team, who are the host of the Euros. They also want to make that final team.
That final, yeah.
Most of Arsenal's team are not Europeans. If they are Europeans, most of them are not playing in Europe. Zinchenko, I don't think his team, Ukraine, made it. I'm not sure.
Ben White said he should not.
Ben White already said he's not coming. The Gabriels and Saliba, Saliba probably. Gabriel is not going there, except maybe Tomiyasu. Jorginho, maybe. I'm not sure if they will call him again. So I'm only saying Arsenal has to be more physical. But all this is on paper. This is what I think what will be the key to their success. But after saying all of this, I still think Bayern has just a slight edge over them, and that edge will come into play. I give this, and not the first leg. I give the tie to Bayern by the odd goal. 3-2.
I totally agree with you on that one. I feel Arsenal have a a little going on for them with Thomas Partey coming back, Timber coming back and whatnot. But the Champions League is a different animal. That is the truth about it. It's a different animal. It's not about how you are performing in your league. These clubs have pedigree. When you talk about Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Barcelona of recent, even Dortmund, and Arsenal does not command that kind of respect in Europe. They don't, and the next one would be in the same bracket. So even if Arsenal qualifies, they are meeting another gauntlet in Real Madrid or Manchester City. This is a crazy one if you ask me. Real Madrid is probably one of the best youngest team in the world right now. Those guys are young and they have a couple of old heads to hold them down, to stick it together for them. And you look at City. City for me personally, and I was telling someone last week, I said, apart from Ederson, Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland, I would not trade anybody in the national team for a City team.
Rodri?
No, I won't trade Declan Rice for Rodri. Honestly, that's it. I would. So if I look at the City team, it is Pep Guardiola. Guardiola, personally for me, and I don't like to say it, but I have to admit, is the best coach in the history of football that I know personally. You might bring in Johan Cruyff. I did not see so much of him. You might bring in old guys, but I did not see so much of them. I'll tell you, Gusidik is the best tactician I've ever seen in my life, but Pep Guardiola is the finished article, the best that you see in terms of technique, tactics, man management, and whatnot. And he's facing probably the tactician of his own generation, Carlos Ancelotti, the guy that can stick anything together, even if there's no glue. So it's going to be a dicey one. I begin to look at it. Real Madrid have the hedge over City. The way City has played so far this season, City are still, even though we say that their season has not been so good, they still have the chance to win another treble this season. That's crazy if you ask me. How do you think this time will go? Personally, for me, I'll give Real Madrid the hard advantage of going over in the first leg, especially if they manage to win at the Santiago Bernabeu in the first leg. If they don't, then it's going to be a problem for them.
I give City the slight edge in this tie. Like you said, Real Madrid, we have to study how Florentino Perez has done his business and has secured the midfield for the next 10 to 12 years again. And probably is going to do the same for the front when Mbappe joins at some point. But City is a better oiled machine than Real Madrid is currently. As good as that team is, they are not yet playing at their best. Let's just call it spade what it is. They are not yet playing at their best. Individually, they can hurt you. Collectively, we are not seeing that cohesion. We've seen them allow teams that they should be putting to the sword claw their way back into games. Osasuna over the weekend, we saw Atleti. They couldn't put Atleti away until Atleti came and got a draw. We saw them struggle against Villarreal. Stuff like that. Those are teams that City are better than. City is better than all these teams have called that have given Real Madrid a run for their money over the last.
Even in the Champions League, I think even the round of
RB Leipzig also gave them. I mean, they came and pulled a draw at the Bernabeu. So I definitely give City. I think City is repeating as champions this season. let's just say it out there. Early predictions from Kachi. I think City repeats as champion. They probably beat Atletico Madrid in the finals to get there, but it's going to be because of Pep Guardiola, not really because City has a better team. They have a better coach right now, a better tactical genius, except he goes into his tinkering nature. Once he starts to tinker, that is when
Yeah, I
I
play
begin to wonder.
Jack Grealish in the first nine.
Yeah, once he starts to tinker, then Real Madrid will
But I
find
think,
their way into it.
I
But they
think,
must put Madrid to the sword. They
yeah,
can't let it be 1-0.
one,
Let's if it's just a one goal in it, by the time the second leg is ongoing, there's just one goal. Madrid needs one goal to either tie the game or to Madrid to put it. But if they put Madrid to the sword, 3-0, 2-goal lead on aggregate, okay, then. But I still think City wins this.
City wins. Kashi, honestly, while you were talking about the thing right now, I just felt Elinana actually solved so much problem for Pep Guardiola. Getting Haaland into the team really did solve a whole lot of things for him. Now he does not think us so much. He does not think us so much in the front.
Yes,
play Kevin De Bruyne as first nine and whatnot. I think it really did help him. And the next one is going to be PSG versus Barcelona. PSG, coached by the former coach of Barcelona, Luis Enrique. So Luis Enrique is going back home against Barcelona. Barcelona has not been the best overall this season. They've put so much pressure on their young coach, and I hope, I sincerely hope they live to regret that decision of letting Xavi go at the end of the season. I honestly think so. PSG, they have Mbappe, the best attacker in the whole world, but it's PSG for crying out loud. It's PSG. I would prefer Arsenal to play against a PSG or a Barcelona. Yeah, it's that bad, So you definitely cannot say what's going to happen in this tie. I feel it's a matchup. Best neither can best each other on their day, because you don't even know what kind of Barcelona will come out. Barcelona now needs to rely on 17-year-olds to get them results. Lamine Yamal has been one of their best players this season, which is not acceptable. He's a 16-year-old kid, for crying out loud.
Well, he's 20, but let's go on.
I hope you have a very good. I hope you have a very good lawyer, Kachi.
Allegedly, is 20. I put allegedly there.
Okay, you put allegedly. Okay.
There are documents that allegedly shows that
when he joined La Masia,
he was older than that based on the age he was when he joined La Masia.
That we have right now. Yeah, that's true.
20 years old now. Yeah.
Allegedly. That sounds better. I feel personally, Barcelona will hedge it. They have the pedigree. They are playing the second leg at home as well. PSG does not get the results in France, then it's over for them. Kachi.
It's over, but this is why I think PSG edges it slightly. This is if Mbappe ultimately makes the move to Real Madrid, he will be involved in at least 2 El Clasicos every season. What better way to show Barcelona and Real Madrid what they will get in an El Clasico than this auditioning that is going to have in this quarterfinal time. The last 2 games, this game inclusive, this and the Dortmund Atletico game, are probably the toughest for me to make a prediction on, because like you said, you are not sure what Barcelona or what PSG you will get. 2 weeks before the game, Luis Enrique and Mbappe may enter another round of fights, and Luis Enrique will bench him to prove a point. And we will not even see Mbappe play the second leg, stuff like that. So you never know. But if we go by what we're seeing on paper, it is remarkable that Barcelona is even part of the 8 teams left in this season's Champions League.
Yeah, it is.
I definitely think their luck runs out now. I think PSG edges it. I think this is one game that PSG would win both legs. That's how I see it. That's the way I see it. That PSG ultimately wins this, and it will be because they win both legs.
Okay, of course, so another one that looks a little bit straightforward, and I'm saying that with utmost respect and caution, would be Atletico Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. Atletico will be starting the game at the Wanda Stadium. Dortmund add the Arsenal of Germany, you don't know the kind of Dortmund that will come out. You never know the kind of Dortmund. They might come out and Julian Brandt will be the new big thing. Sancho will be crazy that day, Sabisa will be crazy, Sule will have a whole lot of goal line clearances on that particular day. Don't forget he came out of that supposed group of death. So I'm not writing them off entirely, but Diego Simone just needs one goal, and that's it.
Yeah. I gave you my finals prediction. I said it will be Atletico versus
against City.
So I obviously can't come now and tell you that Dortmund is going to win this. I have to say, on the back of this weekend's results, then my prediction should be thrown to the gutter, because Atleti, as we speak, at the time of airing this show, is losing 3-0 at home to Barcelona. If that Atleti shows up, then Dortmund will take them to the cleaners. I have to say that I was a little bit surprised, because I thought there was no contrast in style between Atletico and Inter Milan. I was surprised to see both of them play free-flowing football. It was a testament to them saying, hey, we will change our personality. It would have hurt Atletico more if they had not qualified from that round of 16 tie, because they'd be like, why did you suddenly change from your style of football to play this expressive style of football? But I think the Cochonero will go back to form. They will go back to what we are used to. They will soak up pressure, make it dirty, make it physical, make it negative, and they will negatively get the results. You may not like it. You will probably say this was a hard game to watch, especially at the Signal Iduna Stadium in Germany. It will be a very physical, almost what Porto did to Arsenal at the Emirates. There will be lots of stoppages, lots of fouls. It will flow freely. But in that negative football, Athletic will find how to win this.
Find a way. Yeah. All right.
The better technical team, but they don't have the better players. And I think the individuality up front between Depay,
Morata,
Llorente, Morata, and Griezmann, they will get what they need. Atletico over two legs.
All right, perfect. And with the Europa League, because AC Milan is there, and AC Milan is like my third thing.
And since you said that, please don't say it openly, because since you said that, the first time you said it, we lost 3 games straight, and I don't want that anymore.
Okay, I want us to lose again, Kachi. So AC Milan is my number 1 team right now. Milan versus Roma. Bayer Leverkusen have refused to lose over the course of this season. They've not lost, if I'm not mistaken, this season at all. I'm going to be playing against West Ham. Benfica versus Marseille. Marseille, I wonder what they're doing there. Liverpool versus Atalanta. Liverpool definitely, I think they should go through against Atalanta. Milan versus Roma will be a dicey one. Roma is rejuvenating right now. But of course, Milan still have a couple of killers in the squad. Pulisic, Fred Leao, the never-aging Giroud, and of course at the back with Migna, with Tomori, and the best left back in the whole of the universe, Theo Hernandez as well. Just to cap it up, I feel Milan might edge it against Roma. I think they should, and of course you can't write off Roma. They have Ciro Immobile, they have Romelu Lukaku, Dybala, and the name of that, I forgot the name of that Nigerian that refused to play for Nigeria, the Chelsea guy, the Langi striker. I've forgotten his name right now.
Now that you just said it,
Tammy Abraham.
Tammy,
still there as well. But I feel Milan have what it takes to edge this one. Do you agree with me?
I agree with you. Obviously, there's a little bit of bias there, but they've played each other twice this season. Milan winning both games, both at the Olimpico and at the Giuseppe Meazza. So I think what is helping Milan, because they've gone about 5 games of competition now since their last defeat and they've not lost any. The fact that their midfield is now contributing goals. Pulisic is getting in on the goals. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is getting in on the goals more frequently now. And that is taking the pressure off Rafael Leao. Because now, Rafael is always perennially a threat. But if he's not a goal-scoring threat, if you let Loftus-Cheek free into the box, because he's now playing that Lampard role in late runs into the box, he's getting onto the end of crosses or end of tappings. Chukwueze, for whatever he's been much maligned, and it looks like whatever they are telling him that, Oga, if you don't play well, we'll just ship you straight to Verona. We're seeing him also. Noah Okafor is there. So I think on the balance of squad, Milan has that slight edge. The balance of result this season, Milan has that slight edge. But let's not take only that. Daniel De Rossi has done an amazing job, because we all questioned that move. Why would you let Jose Mourinho go? But apparently they know more than we do. Clearly, we're seeing De Rossi doing better now. Those two teams know each other. But I think if Milan wanted any team, they would rather play Roma than an Atalanta right now, because they are unpredictable. So I think Milan edges it. The only obstacle to a Milan-Liverpool final for me is Leverkusen. I think Leverkusen definitely gets that result over 2 legs against West Ham. But if West Ham goes gang press, like if they play like they are playing a Premier League team in the first leg and they get 3 or 4 goals, then I think it'd be too much of a hurdle for them. But I just somehow think the semi-final in that bracket will be Milan-Leverkusen. Maybe that's what I want anyway. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. And of course, just before we go on the show, roundup of matches in the FA Cup this weekend. Manchester City are still in the race for another treble. And I believe if he wins this treble, people just need to shut up. They need to shut up.
He has 115 allegations to quiet people.
Yeah, but they should shut up when they talk about Pep Guardiola. Like, if he does, I know right now people should shut up. When you talk about coaches, shut up. Like when they talk about Guardiola, don't mention anybody close. Nobody is close to Guardiola. Guardiola is probably going to win another World Cup. A World Cup, sorry. Probably. If a World Cup, if he decides to go into national team coaching. Probably. So I'm saying, if he does win another treble, that's it. It's over. Gang. Finish. Fakot. They defeated Newcastle 2-0. Bernardo Silva scoring both goals. Wolves lost against Coventry City 2-3. And Chelsea, thanks to their late rally, defeated Leicester City 4-2. All thanks. Did I say no thanks? All thanks to their late rally, won Leicester City 4-2. And the surprising game of the weekend has to be Manchester United against Liverpool. Liverpool played with probably at least for now their best team, given what they have. There was no question of we're trying to hold it back a little bit, but the loss against Manchester United, thanks to the late rally by Manchester United, even Anthony scored. Kachi, can you believe that? Anthony scored. Anthony scored. That's it. That's it.
The fans to hear again.
And I swear that says it all. I believe you were telling me about the bracket. City will be playing against Chelsea, and United were playing against Coventry. So we could be seeing a Manchester United, Manchester derby in the final. I think we had that last season as well. So, but City might not beat Chelsea. That's what I think.
Well, that's what you said.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Well, Pochettino, they've made life difficult for City this season. Let's be honest. I think they've gotten a win and a draw. I can't remember, or they've gotten 2 draws. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, 2 draws.
So Pochettino, obviously, let's not forget, we called Spurs City's potential bogey team, and that started under the Pochettino era. I think he just knows how to set a team up to counter what City does very well. But I think for City, once they start to smell glory, it does something. They are
If
able to
other
elevate the
animal
game. They beat Newcastle without.
breaking
They
his sweat.
only needed Bernardo Silva to do it. You know, I think for us the issue would be how well they are managing the disgruntled or this disgruntledness of KDB right now, who is not really happy with how it's being used. But I think City edges this. I also think United, I mean, it's probably going to be a bigger news if United loses to Coventry City than it would be if City loses to Chelsea. So I think we see a Manchester derby. Whatever now happens on that day, I don't know. But I definitely think City and United should go through to the final.
Should go through. All right, perfect. And that's the wrap for the show. And thank you very much, Kachi. Thank you for everybody that watched us while we're live on here. Till we see you again next week. My name is Siladija Adeboale. Please don't stop supporting sports. Bye, guys.